Hey guys, what is up? Mage here doing another World of Tanks 360 review. Today guys, here we are with the Stug III. This is the Tier 5 German tank destroyer. This is the Stug III G, I'm sorry. And this is first tank on my way on up to the Jagd Tiger. I don't have much interest to the Jagdpanzer E100. Maybe one day I'll get it. But here we are with the Stug III G. Let's go ahead and look at the packages on this tank. Stock, this tank comes with a 320 horsepower engine. It comes with a 75mm L43. 15.38 rounds a minute. Your penetration will be 103. Your damage will be 110. Your aiming time will be 1.70, and the accuracy will be 0.38. Your traverse speed will be 37 with the stock tracks, and your hull traverse is going to be 44, and your view range, or I'm sorry, the traverse I believe is for your gun. I'm sorry, the gun traverse is 44, and your view range is 310 meters. I'll be honest, I never used this tank stock. This package here came ready to go right out of the box, and I was more than happy to use it. It will give you a 350 horsepower engine, and you will get the 75mm L48. This is a gun you're very familiar with on the Hetzer. 15.38 rounds a minute will be your rate of fire. Penetration will be 110, your damage will be 110, and your aiming time is 1.70. You'll get 0.37 accuracy. Your track traverse should be 44 degrees per second, and obviously there's no change there with the hull. This is probably going to be the main workhorse package for most of you, mostly because the L48 is a more consistent gun, and if you're like me, the derp guns kind of literally in some cases hit or miss at the ranges you're supposed to be using this vehicle. Yeah, I guess it's fine if you want to be up close and personal, but I just don't think that's the best possible option for the Stug III. And of course, this package here, I can't remember the price of it XP-wise, but it was very cheap. You will get the top engine, which will be 440 horsepower, and you'll get the 105mm L28 howitzer. 8.33 rounds a minute, or rate of fire will be your rate of fire. Your penetration will be 64mm with the AP ammo, and of course 53 with regular HE. 350 average damage, 1.70 aim time, 0.52 accuracy. It's tempting to use this gun, but I just think it's way too inconsistent, and you have to consider what are you going to do when you run up on Tier 7 tanks. I don't recommend it. Look, derp guns, they're hit or miss, and I think they're best used on the heavies and medium tanks where they have turrets, and they can make them work. I know it's very tempting. I have derped T-29s right in the rear end with a Sherman tank before. It is amazingly funny when it happens. But I don't think it really works on a tank destroyer simply because of the role you are intended to play, and because you don't have a turret. You are mostly fighting long range, and you want to keep people in front of you, and the howitzer just isn't good enough. And you have to think you're not always going to be top tier. But this is the package I recommend. Nothing changes with the exception of the 75mm L70 as your main gun. Your rate of fire will be now 13.33 rounds a minute. You'll have 150mm of penetration, 135 average damage, 1.70 aim time, and 0.33 accuracy. This is just the go-to gun. This is the go-to package on this tank. This is the best possible option to run on this tank. And you have to consider, look up above, plays up to Tier 7. The worst possible matchmaking you could see is going up against T-29s, Tiger 1s. Do you really want to piss those guys off and hit them with a howitzer round at long distance, right into their front, and you only do 20 health and you only blow off their tracks? That guy is going to be steamed. They are looking for you. They are headhunting you. You want a gun that is going to be able to reliably pen them, and in the case of a T-29, you might have to aim for the weak spots. But I can assure you, this gun does make people back up. When you start tack driving people at long range, and this gun is good enough, accurate enough, and has a good enough rate of fire, people do start backing up. I use it very similar to the way I would a Panther 1. Except this gun, this tank is at Tier 5, and the L70 is incredibly OP as hell at tier 5. It is excellent. So you can imagine at tier 7, this is a good enough gun. People will back up when they start getting plinked on by this thing. And with the combination of the low silhouette of this vehicle, you can really mess people up. I tend to use the speed of this tank to kind of not go for flanks, but to actually protect the flanks of my team, because that's what tank destroyers are. They are a defensive vehicle for the most part. Alright guys, I'm going to switch to some gameplay. It was a tier 7 match, so this is a good example of why the L70 is the best gun for this TD. Alright guys, I'll catch you guys back here in a moment. Alright guys, here we are on Mines, Standard Battle. Equipment I run on the Stug 3, I run rammer, I run binos, and the camo net. I felt like the camo net was a no-brainer on this tank. It's a low silhouette tank destroyer, so you should have a pretty darn good camo rating. I don't even have to look at the numbers or actually look up the stats for this thing. I'm pretty confident this thing has a good camo rating just because of the low silhouette, so it helps. Binos, I think, is really a no-brainer on most tank destroyers. This is a tier 7 match, so this is the worst I could possibly get in this tank. I still don't feel like I'm in a bad spot in it, but in any case, binos I think are a no-brainer for most TDs, especially in these kind of matches where you're bottom tier. For the most part, most tank destroyers, you are playing a defensive kind of fight. You are playing in a defensive posture. You want to find a bush, you want to get a long sight line, and you also have to consider your gun traverse arc. You know, the gun traverse arc here on the Stug 3 isn't bad, I don't think. I can certainly use it, even if I have to assault, take an assault gun kind of approach and be aggressive. But still, the best way to deal with a narrow gun traverse arc, even if, you know, for some of you, maybe this is a little too narrow, the best way to deal with it is to be long range. And the further away you are from targets, the easier it is to deal with a narrow gun traverse arc, because everything is a lot more easily put in the path of your gun. We have no shots here on the KV-1S, so I'm going to be patient. Enemy team has some heavies moving up. Let's change our gun around just a little. If our team would just back up a little bit, I could help them. We hit that T-29. We're going to reload and hit him again before he can get away. Oh, he got lucky. We'll go for that T-25 because I know I can pen that reliably. AT-7 could be a problem, but we'll see what we can do. We just missed that time. And we're missing that long range, so this is kind of annoying. Bounced off the T-29 there. And these are heavily armored machines I'm shooting at here, so, you know, I'm not surprised I'm bouncing in some cases. Not prepared, though, to fire premium just yet. I mean, this isn't that kind of a situation. Their T-29 drivers are pretty good, though. I will admit that. Let's try to hit that rear. I don't think... I probably am going to bounce. I'm going to track him. Oh well. Lock him in place. We did pen him. I don't think I want to give my position away, so I'll hold off on shooting. He's looking for tracers. He probably is going to take a cheap shot here. I know he is. I certainly would if I was looking for tracer rounds. Be patient. This guy behind me, I fear, is going to give my position away. But, you know, he's got a nice big gun. I'm not going to complain. You know, it's nice to have somebody with you. Alright, now they backed off. That was good. We're going to help out against that Panzer IV. You can see right there the accuracy. I mean, it's not perfect. I'm not going to lie to you. Why that guy... Don't do what this guy just did. I get it. I get it. I honestly do. He's getting flanked big time. But do not do what he just did. Do not give your ass in when you know you're getting shot at from the front. And it's important because, you know, in later tiers, that guy's going to would have learned the... I guess it's good he's doing it here. You know, he'll get it out of his system rather than learning the hard way in tier 9 or 10 when you're getting 120mm cannons shot at you. But you do not ever give your ass to where you know TDs and big guns are being pointed at you. These guys right here, the T-25 AT and the AT-7s, they seem to understand that, these other guys. I think now he's in a good position. But, you know, they kind of were all turtling up together and backing each other up. And they're keeping their most of their armor, their thickest armor, to the front where it needs to be. We got a guy to our right. We're going to take him out. Now, I might have to load up APCR in this situation, because I need an insurance policy against him. Now, he very well could one-shot me if I'm not careful. Backing off. Yeah, you're going to hit me. He's going to hit me. And, you know, in these situations, when in doubt, don't do nothing silly. Look, I don't have much armor. I mean, this isn't an assaulting tank destroyer. This is a traditional passive kind of acting TD. It plays a defensive role, and I'm going to stick to that role if I can. I do have a teammate here. There's no need to do anything stupid. And he's hull down. There ain't much I can do to him. Nothing I can do to him. He's hull down. And of course, you know, he's going to take a cheap shot, the poor guy at the bottom tier, but, you know, he's a jerk anyways. In any case here, my teammate in the sturdy mill is going to wreck him for his troubles. I'm going to wait for him to fire, and then I'm going to rush up. Why would you fire HE at him? Never mind, he's an idiot. Back off. Let him come after us. And we ended up capping out. Why he didn't just go after us, I don't know. Maybe he was afraid of getting shot at from the side. Wasn't a bad play from him, necessarily. About 1,800 damage. That is excellent in a tier 5, especially when you're bottom tier. Basically, the advice I would give for the Stug 3, yes, it is a reasonably quick TD, but a lot of people... And, you know, maybe in the higher tiers it makes more sense, but I just can't bring myself to put coated optics on a machine that doesn't have a whole lot of armor anyways. I'm not doing a whole lot of scouting. My team is not asking me to do much scouting in this machine. They are, for the most part, asking me to kind of sit back, take long-range shots, and that's where, of course, you know, I still advocate the L70 is the best possible gun to mount on this tank. I know people are tempted with the howitzer, but it's just that L70 works. You can't hate it. It's consistent. Just aim your shots, and you're going to wreck people with it. But your team isn't asking you necessarily to be aggressive. Your team isn't asking you to go up and spot and scout. So a more passive playstyle with those binos is the best possible option. This isn't a medium tank. It's a tank destroyer, and it's not well armored, so you don't want to be up front necessarily anyways. You can get your bounces. I'm not going to BS you, but... not exactly the most reliable armor, and especially when you have a guy in a T-29 pop you with a 105mm. He nearly one-shotted me. If he had gotten a slightly higher damage roll, I would have been done. I would have been already in garage. But you don't want to necessarily play aggressive. There are times where it does work, but for the most part, you're playing the traditional sniping long-range TD role. It works. You're going to run binos. I run a camo net, obviously, and I want to be stealthy as possible. I don't want people seeing me. The best way this thing can survive is if nobody sees you. I can't give an ETA on when I'm going to get to the Jagdpanzer 4, but I'll get there when I get there. Alright, guys. I'll catch you guys later. Peace out.